Good evening, everyone. How are you? What did I just do? What did I just do? Here we are. A video to watch. Hopefully, the guy doesn't get mad. Good evening. How is everyone? I really don't know how long I can be on tonight. My son is in the hospital, and I'm just kind of waiting for information, which I don't have. So, you all have met my son, who've been here for a little bit. It's James. He lives out in New Mexico. So, I don't know anything. So, I'm just waiting. He had stomach pain, so I don't know if it's appendicitis, if it's, I don't know what it is. So we'll find out. I know. How's my dog? My dog's fine. Dog's spoiled. Dog is fine. He's at home with Chris. So I've been working with lighting in here. Me and Chat GPT. It's better, a little better. And trying to figure out how I can get more light in this warehouse. Because I work out of a warehouse. It was a little hard. And the glare from the glasses is another thing. So, how is everyone? Is everyone else good? Like usual, we'll just talk about Wendi till the day she's arrested. Frickin' bitch. See, that's glary. We'll just skip that for now. I can figure this out. I had it so it wasn't glary, and then I think I moved. It's better. Ta-da. Yeah. Nobody wants glare. I have so many wires in here. These tripods with these lights are not exactly, I don't know, stable, I guess is the word. Stable. There's some mountain lights in here. Running some mounts out in the corners. It's so dark. Hi, Lori Staggs. New here, but love the show. Been silent watching about a year. Wow. Hi, Lori. Well, welcome to the chat. The chat's fun, especially when I have the microphone on. Thank you all last night for the email. There were too many to respond. The emails, the text messages. What else? There was a lot saying, Patty, you're muted. I just have to go with it. When you screw up in your live, you just kind of have to keep going with it so that you just act like nobody gives a shit. That's what I try to do. Act like no one cares while cleaning up my space. Let me say hi to everyone. Praying for James. Thank you very much. He called me about, I don't know, what time was it? He's in New Mexico, so it's what, 2 hours behind? And he's like, I'm in the hospital. 3:46, he called me the first time. It was like 1 o'clock, and he was already in a room waiting for morphine or something. And they gave him morphine. So he sounded better the last time I talked to him, but whatever hospital he's in, they didn't have a CT scan that worked. So they were moving him. And that's the last I've heard. So I won't bug him for a little bit. I'll check again in about an hour. So let me say hi to everybody. Lots of nuggets of info listening to you. Thanks, Jerry Griffin. How are you? You're not going to miss half of this one. You got a notification. So, John, we played your song, Wendy's Magic Hoo-Ha. So funny. I think scheduling live senior Patty fans will be Patty Melts and Young Things Can Stay Up Late or Patty Cakes. Okay. Well, I'm a senior citizen technically, right? I think I am. But I still stay up late. Hello, Michelle. Patty's such an inspiration. Oh, thanks, Jenny. She has no idea how much she helps listening throughout the day, helps me maintain balance. I'm so unbalanced. That's a really nice thing to say, but I'm very unbalanced. Like, there's nothing. We used to do a thing when I was working with Keller Williams about, you'd have to give your personal life a number, and then you give your work life a number, and then you give family, children, blah, 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 all these things. And you draw a circle, and whatever shape comes from like 10, 15, 6, whatever. And the whole idea was to get in balance. Well, I'm not. I've never been in balance. I don't even know what it means. Northern New York, you are clear of Jill. Aw, thanks, Norma. Hearing me take no prisoners attitude and concern for the underdog while dealing with life challenges reminds me to get up and get at it. It's pretty cool. Today was a better day with my husband. He was diagnosed with dementia back in April. Today was a much better day. So he's an appraiser by trade, and I gave him like appraisals to do, whether it's not even a real order. Like sometimes it's just an address. I give him the address, and he'll research it, and it gives him something to do. He doesn't know. So I gave him one today that was a real order, and he researched it and helped me out. So we'll see how he did. But you got to have something to do, right? You can't just do nothing. And I took him to the gym tonight, and we went to Wawa so I could get my orange soda. Here it is. And he did you guys ever see Joe versus the Volcano? It's my favorite movie. And he got a mango smoothie or a strawberry banana smoothie, but he was in a good mood. And I said, I'm going to YouTube because I had to go home and get some parchment paper to cover some lights, to soften the lights. And he was in a good mood. Yesterday, he was not. He was not in a good mood yesterday. He wanted to drive, and he was going to drive. That's why that car is not parked at my house, so that he cannot take off in it. So if you have anyone in your life that has dementia, his is in the early, what they call moderate. They're calling it moderate dementia. It's a lot. It is a lot to handle. I bet Patty runs into some international fans on her trip. Well, when I was at the golf course last week at a tournament, a girl came up to me and asked me if I was this Patty, and I said yes. So that's local, but it's nice. Does anyone know how Patricia Burns is doing after her surgery? I do not know. But I do have her email. Let me get her email. I haven't seen an email from her in a while. Just going to send her a quick note from all of us. Oops. I got to get my nails done and trimmed. Thanks for that, Debbie. I'll just send her a quick email. Praying for Susan. Susan was on last night. That was really nice. Susan Hicks is local to Tallahassee. She used to work for the FBI, and her cancer's come back. So she's struggling right now, as you can imagine. So, hey, Junebug. Hi, Forensic. So if you're new and you're just watching, I like doing this at night. First of all, I'm not competing with a lot of my YouTube friends for members and subscribers. So that's nice. I can come on late and just kind of be a little bit more relaxed and not have to worry about calls for work. And but I always talk to the chat. Try to anyway. Debbie Martin bought YouTube Premium. You shouldn't have any ads if you have YouTube. I have YouTube Premium. I like YouTube Premium. You can't block enough ads. Like, they're always going to find a way to block the ad blocker. So I just pay. Did Jenny like the Hoo Ha song? We got to play it again. See if I can find it. So funny. Let's just play it one more time. So if you don't know John and his magic hoo-ha. He's a heck of a writer. Okay. Ready?
Wendy's got a magic hoo-ha under that gray dress. If she were anyone else, she'd be under arrest. It's so sad that she don't hardly eat, and most nights she drinks herself to sleep. Is Wendy's magic hoo-ha what's keeping her on the street? All the signs are there. We've heard much more than our share. Wendy's got a magic hoo-ha. Without it, she doesn't have a prayer. She comes home with slap marks on her ass, explains it away. She can make up lies that fast. It's all in your mind. You're just being jealous. While I was in Miami, I wasn't seeing other fellas. Come on, let's go to bed. Mama's hoo-ha needs to be fed. You'll forget every doubt that you've had. All the signs are there. We've heard much more than our share. Wendy's got a magic hoo-ha. Without it, she doesn't have a prayer. She's confronted, she turns on the tears, flashes those blue eyes, and you forget your fears. You just imagined it all. Her trip to Miami wasn't a booty call. With Wendy's magic hoo-ha, she may just get away with it all. She was in a bad situation, somewhere between hell and civilization. All the signs are there. We've heard much more than our share. Wendy's got a magic hoo-ha. Without it, she doesn't have a prayer. Wendy's got a magic hoo-ha. Without it, she doesn't have a prayer.
Who doesn't love a... Sorry, can't even. I just think it's so funny. It's the funniest thing ever. I think it's hilarious. Oh. Diet Pepsi drinker. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever met one of you. I don't think I've ever met you. I worked in a pharmacy back in Harrisburg called Farmore, FPHA More, MOR. And our pharmacist, she had a Pepsi issue. We'll call her Hoo Ha Jill. It's like that woo woo song. That is funny stuff right there. It is a great song. And our own John Smith wrote it. It's amazing. He does. Yeah, and I don't know how much I'm built for this. I know when you think about it. I just don't know. I mean, Jay Leno has money. does help. Soft-sided walls. It's a lot. And I'm talking about for me. I need the soft-sided walls, not my husband. So funny. Your mom used to drink Pepsi. Pepsi Light. Oh, I like Pepsi. I like lemon and soda, so I remember Pepsi Light. It's, it's a lot caring for somebody with dementia. It's a lot. John missed his calling. Instead of building homes and offices, you could have had been famous people singing your songs. One channel I saw is calling her Wendi. Why would they do that? Like, when is she being arrested? Like, Wendi? Didn't Farmore commit business fraud? I don't remember. I worked there right when I started nursing school, so it's been a long time. Likely. It's a pharmacy. There was likely fraud. So I see about it. When I need a mental vacation at the private school I work for, I hum this. That's funny. Grish calls her Wendi. Like, when are you being arrested? Tab is nice. You can find it. I get it. Wendi. Okay, good one. The only soda you drink is Fresca. I got one on the plane. The other day they had Fresca. I like a Fresca a lot. I like soda water, so I'm like, dry soda's nice. You see your husband decline, Michelle, especially when I'm gone for an hour or so. Breaks your heart for him. I'm here with him until the end. Bless your heart. I'm an hour at a time, girl. I mean, Chris is not that. He is not like in full on dementia. He is not at all. Not even close yet. But the stress of it for him and realizing that he has dementia, it's got to be just so hard. It's got to be just so incredibly hard. I grew up with Fresca and Tab. I currently have a friend who always has Fresca in a refrigerator. We have Fresca at my house. I like it. It's nice, and I didn't do my hair today, so this is like day old curl. Never done this. Usually always do it, but not tonight. Charlie getting him a Wendi meal. I can't even watch that video. Him scarfing down that Wendi honestly made me sick. It literally made me like, this isn't good. Even STS, Joel was like, this was animalistic. I have a soda stream at home. Because I just like the seltzer. Like, I like tonic. Caretakers of spouses or other family, please guard your own mental health. I do. That's why I'm here. Amy, this is my mental health break. She is Wendi. Until she is arrested, she is winning, like Charlie Sheen, I guess. Oof. Did you guys watch that? Charlie was talking to himself was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. Oh, American Greed. It was defunct in 2002. My God. I worked for them in My kid he was born in 95, right? No, yeah. 89, 92. He was born in 92. So it was before that. I worked for them. The drinking of the nugget sauce and licking fingers was revolting. I think he had diarrhea. There is a new channel that posted body cam of Charlie. What's the channel? True crime. You got to tell me the channel. Do you have it? We need the link, Max, right? I knew someone from the Genovese family. It was a popular drugstore in the 60s. Not sure it's still around. You saw it on True Crime Metrics. Spill the Crime Tea is the channel. Hold on. It was so much slower at night. So, full disclosure, I know that cell, like I know where he is. I know where he is. Okay. I just think he's so foul that. So we have to go Spill the Crime Tea now. Hold on.
Okay.
So pardon the language because he gets disgusting because he is a murderer.
Tell him, bro, I'll tell him how fucking stupid you are. Okay. You don't know what stupid is? You're fucking stupid. He's on the way, sir.
It's 168 to Lieutenant Williams. Sorry.
You open the hatch, standing here barefoot, and you slam the door into their toe.
Can you 56 Foxtrot 2?
Really fucking stupid. Congratulations. You open a hatch, and someone's standing here barefoot, you open a door into their toe?
Excuse me.
That was really fucking stupid. Bring your lieutenant over, I'll tell him how fucking stupid you are.
Okay.
You don't know what stupid is? You're fucking stupid.
He's on the way, sir. Sergeant Jackson. Yes, I need LT down here to F2. You can come down if you like, but I need LT.
Give me my medicine and open the hatch like a normal person. There's someone with a brain.
We're gonna wait LT to get here for.
Please open the hatch like a normal person.
I don't mind waiting at all.
This is guy number 4. What's his name? Parker?
I'm not sure. I don't know who's got all that stuff.
Oh,
Stupid.
Can you be in route to F2 as soon as possible? Okay. Thank you. All right, bye.
This one? Seven?
Yeah.
That'd be news. I'm gonna check his roster.
I'm gonna take you down to medical to be checked out, okay, sir? Sir, I'm gonna take you down to medical to be checked, okay? LT, we came to this cell to do medication pass. He was standing at the door. I unlocked the door to push the door open. He said I ran over his toe. So I said I'm gonna get him down and take him to be checked out. I've been recording. He didn't curse me out. He didn't call me stupid. He told me to call you down here. He gonna tell you how stupid I am.
So he's saying he need medical attention?
He didn't say he needed medical attention. So before I opened his door all the way, I didn't know.
LC, don't go. Yeah, sure. What you got?
Medical comes to hand me my pills, so I stand at the door so I can get them through the hatch like I always do. She opens the door and pushes the door and runs it over my toe.
Okay.
So I said, you just fucked my toe up. You hand medicine through a door every single time. I'm standing here barefoot. If you look at the door, it's a big gap. If you're standing here barefoot, take a heavy door and slam it forward, you're gonna fuck someone's toe up. It's common sense. That's all it is.
Which toe?
My right big toe.
I hate him.
That's the stable in the toe?
I don't think it's broken. I just think it just fucked it up. It's fine. I just like my medicine. Next time they should use the hatch in the door they use every single time. It's common sense. If someone's standing here barefoot in front of the door, you don't issue a shoes. I'm standing barefoot. If you stand there barefoot and I slam the door,
Okay. So come with me. We're gonna take it down. You just look at it and
they got an x-ray there or
no.
what are they gonna do with their toe?
We're not talking about that. All right. Just walk over there.
Sir, can I take my medication before I go down there?
Yeah.
And I apologize for saying it's stupid, but when you get your toe slammed into by a door standing there, it surprised me.
You got it.
I don't think it's broken. I think it just got nailed in the door.
Hey, Lieutenant Weed coming out.
His legs are shackled.
Hang tight, man. Yeah, let's go one back out. Okay.
We're here to see the charge nurse.
There's one number
269487. Those hanging out here.
You ready for us to come back, LT? You can go ahead and follow LT. You can have a seat in that first grade chair to the right. Let me take photos on my age to issue.
Yeah, 269487. 269487.
We have it.
You can, yes. Can you move your hand for me, please? Which toe is it?
It's this one right here.
Okay. Next focus is out there now.
Can you take your other foot out? Can you put them next to each other? Put it flat for me, please. Yep. Okay, let me see your arm.
What's the wrist?
So tell me what happened.
I was waiting for my meds to come, like they always do through the door. So I was standing there waiting for them to open up the hatch on the door. And she opened up the actual heavy wooden door and pushed the door open. And I'm standing here barefoot. And I just in my sandals, but my toe was sticking out. And when the door opened up, it nailed my toe and it did something in here. I don't think it's broken. I think whatever it is, strained or whatever's going on in the joint is my guess. But I mean, I can still walk on it. It's not, it didn't rip the nail off or anything. So just what I wasn't expecting it to door swing open.
The hair on that section?
It's tender.
And you're right across
It's more like if I move it, like inside the joint.
I don't feel any swelling. Let me see this one.
It was like 5 minutes ago. I got there quick. And then I don't think anything's broken. I just think it was just more like
Bend your toe for me. Does it hurt when you bend it?
it's real tender.
Nurse, we finished?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
No cow.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
I see on his right over.
Yeah, so far so good.
I am not Mark. I'm just trying to let this video finish.
All right.
Bye, Charlie. Everybody go like and subscribe. Go like and subscribe. She only has 753 subscribers. Get her to 1,000, everyone. Go get her. Here's her link. I'm not ignoring anyone. I was trying to let the thing go, but some of them were quite funny. There's some funny shit passing me by. So, Mr. C, to answer your question, the original jail was built in 1937. In 66, the county jail moved to a new building, which is where it is now. That building is no longer the 36 building is no longer the main facility, but that building is still present. I thought they knocked it down, but they didn't. Yep. Going to the yard. They're going to the yard. What year was this? This is the original building. That's what it looked like. The south side of Gain Street by Gadsden at a cost of $100,000. So it's gone. It's in a different location. But some of your, I'm going to see if I can go back and find some of the comments and questions. Someone asked a question about the door. And just to tell you, I used to work at the Leon County Jail back in a long time ago. 2001, 2002. Jail hasn't changed. And so the deputy, it wasn't the nurse, the deputy has a nurse with her. You have to be escorted as the nurse to give pills out. We don't know what he was getting, but typically they open the hatch. But according to the report that Joel from STS spoke of regarding this toe, which is hard for me even to talk about, is he had his blanket up over his bunk so they couldn't see what was going on, which is why she opened the door. So it wasn't just about the meds. He's dismissive of what was the real problem, which was the blanket was blocking his bunk and she couldn't see what was going on. So that's why she opened the door. You know what I mean? And this whole time I'm listening to him, he's going off on her about the toe. But meanwhile, he wasn't supposed to have his bunk covered. And that's what this family does. They scream and holler about stuff to deflect about the real stuff. So, hey, Mark, how are you? Charlie should have told his mommy that he never should have been in charge. Sorry, Bionic. I can hear the clanking of the chain on the floor as he drags his dirty feet. You haven't lived since you've seen inmate toe. It's just disgusting. Joel was so funny when he talked about it. It was when I was driving down to Clearwater. I heard him discussing it. And he was like, whoever has a picture of that toe, he wants it blown up and framed on the wall. It's gross. STS showed a jail record that says Donna is having a temper tantrum and is loudly talking about the judge and the jury, saying she can't take it anymore. There are no pedicures at the jail. And everyone's trying to write John's song. I just don't like feet. Like feet. You're welcome, Mr. C. I didn't think of the delusions of grandeur. He really didn't think he could get caught. Is this bringing up jail nurse memories? Yeah, it is. I liked working at the jail because nobody could hurt you. You know, if you work at a nursing home, you can get kicked in the face on the regular basis and nobody will do anything to help you. But when you work at the jail, very different. Catch a charge. He's just a foul human being. They're all foul to be in there, really. Nobody's in there because they're pleasant people. big hair, big everything. But he was alone. I knew he'd be alone in one of those single cells. Mother enmeshed men actually hate women because underneath they're controlling, emasculating mother, but repress that anger and take it out on all women. If only. God. So gross. The doors closing are a terrible sound. Victoria, that sounds like my grandma got run over by a reindeer. The nonstop screaming. I know. I wish they had. So they black some of that out when it's in the medical, right? You can't go in the medical with a camera. So that's why that's redacted. My husband worked as a juvie prison doctor when he was a resident. Oh man, I bet he had some stories. Patty is fine. I am not frozen. Oh, you hit pause. My bless it. Yeah, it's not me this time, Mark. Not this time. No more go-karts and lobster. The echo, the clanging, yeah. But at least this time he had a cell. Remember when he was in McCullough? And that's all open bay. And where Donna was when they showed that hour-long video when we're in the courtroom. So bad. That there's no privacy, there's no nothing. How many times did he repeat himself about his toe being hit? Like 5 or 6? Who doesn't prefer a private room? I'm not social, so. So anyway, what I wanted to show you guys tonight, I hope to stay awake long enough to finish, is this. It's called the Veriscope Body Language and Deception Detection. And this guy has 3 videos. It says, Wendi Adelson police interview. Let me share with you. Did Wendi slip up and reveal her guilt in her interview? The forensic linguistic analysis of her July 1814 statement reveals patterns that Court TV, Vinny, Georgia Kappelman, and every other major true crime channel missed, using the same Veriscope technology that exposed deception in high-profile cases. We analyzed every word Wendi said to detectives hours after. So again, go like and subscribe, and I'm going to start this now because I have not watched it. I've been dying to watch it. Dying. So the red circles are pronouns, blue is sensitive, gold, hedging, weakening, red border, missing elements, purple pulse system breakdown. So it's a complete transcript with a forensic markup.
She is herself in. So if you have a notepad, do take notes as you're watching the video. Some of the comments which are on this channel are absolutely amazing. I think we have some brilliant analysts, some Columbo type investigators who are finding absolutely amazing evidence on the cases that we're studying. So things to look out for are the use of the word left in her statement, the number of times that she uses the word so as clusters. Remember, we look for flags that become clusters of flags and superclusters rather than individual flags. Individual flags mean very little by themselves quite often. So it's the clusters and the superclusters that we look for. So take a look out also for the way that she uses an alibi witness architecture. By that, what I mean is throughout her morning, she ensures that she has a TV technician to act as an alibi. She isn't the shooter, by the way, but she's ensuring she has an alibi. She uses a liquor store employee where she overly chats to the guy, again to make him remember, a gas station attendant, and eventually restaurant friends. And also look at her timeline. The 10 o'clock Best Buy TV technician arrives, leaving by 11. Dan is shot in this window between 11 and 12:15. And between 12 and 12:15, she claims to leave the house. And in that murder window, in that time, the only thing that she claims to do is, inverted commas, work on a paper. And there's another pattern to look out for, which is if she is guilty, she obviously wouldn't know exactly what had happened to Dan. So she has this pattern of saying, who would do this? And then remembers, oh, she isn't supposed to know exactly what has happened. So she then retreats to a pattern of, but he wouldn't harm himself. And then she forgets and goes back to the pattern of who would do this to him. And then remembers, oh, I'm not supposed to know exactly what has happened because the detective hasn't told me yet. And then repeats back into the pattern of, oh, he wouldn't harm himself. So we're going to look at the video. If you don't want to see the entire video, which is around about 20 minutes for the first analysis, fast forward the tape to where we begin the statement analysis itself. Save the video, because quite often watching twice, or if you're learning and studying, it's good to go over the material twice or 3 or even 4 times. Each time I find new patterns, new observations, and make sure that you're listening with full attention as we do the analysis. Okay, let's kick off rather than carrying on the introduction. So she's waiting for the detective to arrive to interview her, and she has been playing a voicemail from a friend of hers, which warns that there seems to be something going on.
I just listened to my voicemail.
What'd you hear?
Who
was your voicemail?
It's from Lisa Carey, who is my real estate agent, or who I had gone with to find a house. She just said she was driving around town and she heard there was a shooting on Trescott.
Yeah, that's what this is about. I'm sorry you had to hear it that way.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if I should.
It's all right, just leave it there. Is it still on?
It's right there.
And you want to just hit play again for me?
Sure.
Oh, and the other thing to look out for is when she starts crying and when she stops crying, and how easy it is for her to stop crying when she goes into the pre-prepared narrative. That's so take a look out for that.
Hey, it's Lisa Carey. It is Friday, and I feel like an idiot doing this, but I just heard that there was a shooting over on Trescott, and I promise I'm not trying to be dramatic or even nosy. I don't know, just checking on you, my friend. I hope all is well. I hope your sweet boys are well, and if there's anything you need, let me know. It just ran a chill down my spine when I heard that there was something going on Trescott. All right, 212-3083. I hope all is well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
That's all right, you can stop it. Or does it stop automatically?
It's done.
Okay, do you have your identification with you? All right, so you never took the last name of Markle?
No.
A.D.
And very quickly before we continue, notice that she's apologized for listening to her voicemail. And think about that. She's apologized for listening to her own voicemail. as if she's interfering in an investigation of some sort, which indicates prior knowledge. Why learn statement analysis? Well, if you're interested in discovering who's being deceptive to you, whether that's being deceptive at work, either an employee or a colleague, or indeed a boss, or in personal relationships, being able to recognize deception patterns and gaslighting and manipulation is extremely valuable, and in many ways can protect you from a lot of life's hurts. So it's worthwhile spending a little while understanding the principles of statement analysis for your own life. It's an amazing skill to learn. And in similar ways to games like poker, it doesn't take too long to learn the basics and the principles, certainly enough to recognize you're being deceived. And in a similar way, the last 10% does take a long time, but you can get very good very quickly. And hopefully by watching these videos, you'll have noticed that you're already picking up deceptive patterns in communications, on television, certainly in the politicians, and in your own life, in relationships or at work. So let's carry on.
E-L-S-O-N. Okay, Wendy with an I. Jill. All right. There was a shooting at your home, or your ex-husband's home, at 2116 Trescott. Okay. Your ex-husband, excuse me, Daniel, all right, has been taken to the hospital. He's not going to survive.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, before we get into everything, I have to establish where you were and who you were with and so forth.
Okay.
Okay, and then once we've established all that, I can give you more details.
Okay.
Do you understand why I wanted you to come here before I discuss this?
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, you have nothing to be sorry about.
I just don't understand. How could this happen?
Can you let me get over this hump, okay? Can we do that first? All right. Can you tell me what time you left your house this morning?
Yeah, I was there. I didn't leave this morning. I didn't leave until noon.
Okay. And
Oh my.
Did you notice that as soon as she entered her prepared narrative, the crying immediately stopped?
God. And I tried to drive up Trescott, and I saw that it was blocked.
And then she remembered, oh, I better start crying again.
it was blocked at some point. I'm not sure what time it was
And I
blocked.
just thought, oh, there's maybe some trees down or something. Because sometimes
Oh, you're saying as you drove down which one of the side roads?
when I'm going to a friend's party tonight, and it's a oh my God, what am I even talking about? I needed to buy, it's a stock the shelf engagement party, and so I went to buy bourbon.
Okay.
So I went to drive from my place up Trescott to get to ABC Liquor, and it was blocked, so I just turned around. I was on the phone at the time. I wasn't paying a lot of attention.
Right.
So I just turned around and drove up the other way. I just thought, oh, sometimes there's when I lived there, there were electrical things that would happen. I left my house around 12:15 because I thought I'll get the bourbon and then I'll get some gas for the car and get super glue for one of the boys' toys. And I was trying to do all I can before meeting my two friends at 1.
Okay, who was at your house this morning?
The only person that was at my house this morning was a guy from Best Buy because my TV was broken and it's under warranty.
Easier for you.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay, a guy from Best Buy was at your house to work on your TV?
I have his name and everything at the house if you want it, because the boys broke the TV. So he gave me a choice of fixing it or getting a new one.
Notice the laugh there, which she's just been told that her ex-husband is not going to survive and is at the hospital, and she's laughing, giggling, ingratiation.
What time did he come to the house?
He called me at around 8. He was probably there until around 10.
Okay. Okay. And then
and then after he left, I kept working on a paper, and I emailed the paper to a librarian at school to work on some of the citations.
Okay.
And
so there we have the 5th alibi witness architecture. We've got the Best Buy TV technician, the liquor store employee, the gas station attendant, the restaurant friends, and the email evidence sent, creating an architecture of alibi throughout the whole morning. Even though she's not the shooter, she's cognizant that she needs a solid alibi.
I don't think I talked to anyone else, but I was just working for an hour or so from the house. I was going to take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time. I did laundry. And then I left the house around noon.
To go to the liquor store and the stuff for the party?
Yeah.
Okay, you went down which road you said?
I went down Trescott.
Okay.
I saw a police car there, and I just thought it was blocked, so I just turned around and drove to, I went down the rest of Centerville, went up Benton, took Benton across, went to ABC Liquors, bought the bourbon.
I'm a little confused. You're up on Centerville Road. What's your purpose of driving down Trescott?
When you hear confusion in statements, there is normally deception.
Actually, the shortcut to get to Monroe.
To get to Monroe?
I usually take it as a cut through to get to Thomasville or Monroe.
Okay, all right, so
I don't know why I said Monroe. I was thinking Mosaic, Monroe, Thomasville.
Okay, so when you come down into town on Centerville?
I almost always cut through Trescott.
Trescott and just drive by your old house?
Well, I do it as a way of like coming to terms with the divorce, but yeah.
Remember, the guys were staying on Monroe. Sigfredo, someone pointed this out to me. Sigfredo and Luis Rivera were staying on Monroe. So when she says Monroe, there might have been a hidden meaning to that.
Sometimes I drive there. If I'm too sad, I drive around.
Okay.
The kids aren't.
So like an arsonist returning to the scene, she couldn't help herself. She had to go and look.
Home, and I know they're not home. I feel better about driving by the house, but yeah, it's shorter, and I just usually drive by.
It's shorter than going all the way down to Benton?
All the way down Centerville and around Benton. It's just a shortcut I always took.
Okay, so you turned around and went back to Centerville, I take it?
Yeah.
Down to Benton, and went to the liquor store down there on Thomasville?
Yeah.
The one at Benton Road? ABC
Liquors, it's at, Benton.
Okay, all right, did you make a purchase there?
Yeah.
And that was sometime after 12?
Probably 12:30.
Okay, all right.
And I talked to a guy there because I don't really buy much alcohol, and so they wanted bourbon, and I asked the guy. We had a whole conversation about bourbon and my eyes, like.
Your eyes?
He just said your eyes are really blue, and
you have contacts?
I do. Okay. But I just remembered it.
So Debbie, you cross Monroe, but you don't take Monroe to get to FSU.
So I bought the bourbon and got some gas on Thomasville and met my friends at Mosaic.
Which gas station did you go to on Thomasville?
The one that's, I always forget the name, but the one that's close to the cross street. It's right next to the Goodwill.
Okay.
If you're heading north on Thomasville, if you're heading north on Thomasville, it's on your right.
Okay, just past the Goodwill
Just
place?
past the Goodwill, it's close to the intersection there.
Okay, all right, and then from that point, you went straight to the
Went to Mosaic.
Mosaic restaurant?
And met friends there. I used to have kind of a steady Friday meeting, and I hadn't seen my two friends in a while. And so we had made plans to meet up.
What time did you get to Mosaic?
About 1. I was a little late. We were supposed to meet at 1, and I got there a few minutes after.
Okay, all right, I know it's cold in here. Okay.
I think that's not why.
Okay, I know it's part of it, but do you know?
Notice on her timeline, she can never commit to a time. Everything's around. Never commits to a time.
Anybody that would have a beef against your ex-husband?
He's, oh my God.
I hate to ask it now, but I have to do it now. You understand, right?
I understand. He had friends. He always meant well, but he would sometimes rub people the wrong way.
Notice she's immediately accepted the death and she's into the past tense with her ex-husband. People have extreme difficulty accepting death, but she is straight into the past tense.
Okay.
But not anyone who would do something like this.
Anybody that he owes money to?
No, he owes money to me.
He owes money to you?
Okay. Not me.
Okay.
Right. Did you notice that? He owes money to me. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. No, not me.
All right.
Oh my God, we're kids.
Whenever she slips up, she goes into the big cry. It's almost like she's annoyed and angry at her slip up, and so resorts to the big cry.
I know a lot of people didn't really love him, but I don't know anyone who would do something like this.
Well, we're still trying to determine, what happened and how it happened.
But he wouldn't do this to himself.
Okay.
Okay, so she's a smart cookie, in many ways, highly manipulative. So she realizes, oh damn, I shouldn't have said that because I'm not supposed to know what's happened. So that pattern of who would do this switches to he wouldn't harm himself. And then she forgets that and then switches back to he wouldn't do this, and then realizes the slip up once more and says he wouldn't harm himself. This is her pattern.
He was a very positive person.
Okay. No one that you know of or that you've spoken to recently that he's had some type of problem with or that he was concerned about?
No one that he was concerned about. I mean, we've been separated for 2 years, so I don't know,
right.
If he had something going on, I wouldn't know about it. But I mean, I had lost my voice earlier this week, and so we had put off this conversation about our son's school and where he was going to go, and he I know a lot of people didn't love him.
There's no point in having that conversation if he's going to be gone, is there?
But not anyone who would hate him. He meant well. Everyone that knew him knows that he means
Massive victim blaming.
well, but he can be a little argumentative.
Right.
But not he didn't owe anyone money. He didn't do anything except work and take care of his kids. He wasn't involved in anything bad.
Okay.
I can't believe this is happening.
I know. And he was a professor at the law school, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And your divorce has been 2 years or the total separation, I'm assuming?
Total separation's been 2 years.
Have any of you watched someone who was really upset that someone was shot or injured or hurt? I've never seen anyone. I've seen parents react when their kid got hit by a car. I've seen loved ones, grandparents die, parents die. No one have I seen in person or on other than her act like this. I've never seen anybody act like this with this hyperventilation, fake crying, screeching. I mean, she's screeching, but not in a way that shows emotion. It's just screeching. Like her voice is really on the superficial of her vocal cords. It's not like it's a deep, when someone really is hurt and the parents or the sibling sees them and it's that guttural cry. Her cry is like right on the top of her vocal cords. There's nothing deep about any of this. It's fascinating.
Our divorce was finalized last summer around this time.
Okay.
He wouldn't do this to himself. He has a girlfriend now.
Do you know his girlfriend?
I met her once in the last couple of weeks. She was visiting. She lives in New York.
Okay. Do you know anything about her?
I know some things about her. She's also a law professor. I know she's recently divorced and she has a son. I don't know if her divorce is final, but I think recently divorced.
Where's she a law professor at?
At NYU.
Okay.
And they seemed very happy. And I mean, I think that was a really good thing in his life. He seemed really happy about it. She came down here, she met the boys, and I met her and she told me how great she loved the boys. It seemed fine.
Did she ever stay at the house with him?
Just that one time.
When was that?
I remember because I just got back from being with my family in South Florida.
Where's she running to?
Sorry.
It's okay. You're doing great.
So what date was it? I went with my family. It was my dad's 70th birthday and we went home for it. So his birthday was the 5th. I left Monday the 30th. So she must have come into town Saturday, the evening of the 28th.
What month? June? This past June.
Just now. So June 28th. And then she was there with the boys the 29th, and then I met her on the morning of the 30th when I picked up the kids to take them to South Florida.
Do you know when she left?
I could probably find it like in the email and stuff. I think she was here for like one more day, and then Danny went up to New York because I was with the kids in Miami for a good long while. I was there. I drove back July 10th, so I was there almost 2 weeks. And so I think he went up the next day.
Okay. Do you know her name?
I do. It's Amy Adler. Oh my gosh.
A.D.
She went around all that shit. I was gone for 2 weeks. I had to pick up the kids, blah, 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 to give out that name.
Adler.
And she's a professor of law at NYU?
Yeah.
What kind of car does she drive?
I have no idea. I didn't know she has a car. She lives in New York City.
Well, so I mean, she was driving down. I mean, she flew down here, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you have her phone number?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know how long they were dating even. It seemed kind of serious if she met the kids, but I don't really know. he's been going up to New York for like conferences and stuff since Lincoln was about a few months old. So he's been going up there 3.5 years. So my guess was that they might have known each other for a long time, but have been dating. I don't know how long.
Well, let me ask you something. Does his relationship with her have anything to do with your all's divorce?
No.
No, it had nothing to do with
No.
an extramarital affair or anything?
No, but the only thing I'm thinking is Amy, I don't know what Amy's full divorce situation is like. So if you're gonna think of someone who's not thrilled with Danny, I don't know how happy her husband or ex-husband is.
So she has gone from who would do this, he wouldn't harm himself, who would do this, he wouldn't harm himself, to someone has planned the murder. And if you want to look, why don't you look at the ex-husband of hers? In my opinion, this shows guilty knowledge, high manipulation tactics, high gaslighting techniques. Quite an example, this woman.
Situation.
Do you know anything about him?
I don't know anything about him.
So you know Amy Adler, she's a professor at NYU. She was down here from the end of June through the first part of July.
I think just a few days.
Right.
Yeah.
As visiting, but he'd been seeing her when he goes to New York on these conference trips.
Well, he's in New York in the summertime. We have a week on, week off schedule with the boys. So whenever I have them for a week, he goes up to New York for a week. So he's been spending a lot of time up there.
Did he relay to you that he'd been seeing her up in New York, or that's where they met, or anything of that nature?
He didn't tell me about it, but I feel like he was pretty vocal with the girlfriends and people probably since December about her being his girlfriend. So
okay. Who would be his best friend?
When we were still together, he had 2 best friends. Neither of them are in Tallahassee.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm completely blanking on their last names right now.
That's okay.
Matt Price, that was his best man at our wedding. And Josh Berman, who Matt is in DC and Josh is in New York. Actually, he has a friend, I don't know if they're so close, but he and the boys sleep over at their house a lot. They're in Cairo, Georgia.
Okay.
That's probably his closest friend here.
Do you know his name?
His name's Alex Greenberg. He's a veterinarian in town and they've got kids around the same age as our kids.
He's a vet here in town?
Mm-hmm. And I think
do you know where his office is?
I don't, maybe in Cairo.
Oh, he doesn't have an office in Tallahassee?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's now look at the actual analysis and go into a little bit more detail of her statement and see what we discover. It might be worthwhile playing the recording as we look at the analysis and then stopping the tape. So we start off with, she says that she's listened to the voicemail.
Listen to my voicemail.
What'd you hear? What was your voicemail?
It's from Ret Sgt who is my real estate agent, or who I had gone with to find a house. She just said she was driving around town and she heard there was a shooting in Trescott.
Yeah, that's what this is about. I'm sorry you had to hear it that way.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if I should.
It's all right, just leave it there. Is it still on?
It's right there.
You want to just hit play again for me?
Okay, so when we look at statement analysis and forensic linguistics, in the early days of research, over 10,000 criminal statements were analyzed, and the analysis was carried out mainly by the Israelis, mainly by their military police, and also a famous polygrapher called Abenon Sapir. What we discovered by looking at their research is that the guilty party will very often say, "I'm sorry." It's such a high percentage of criminal statements where they apologize that wherever we see "I'm sorry," we take note and we put in a flag. So here she's apologizing for listening to her own voicemail, showing some form of guilt and saying that she didn't know if she should. Now, what sort of mind immediately says, I'm sorry, I didn't know if I should listen to my own voicemail, mentioning a shooting on the road where your ex-husband, it's wrong. Can you see how that's wrong? So we put in a flag and we recognize that this is highly likely to be extremely deceptive and follows the same pattern that we saw in the research from over 10,000 criminal statements.
Hey, it's Ret Security. It is Friday, and I feel like an idiot doing this, but I just heard that there was a shooting over on Trescott, and I promise I'm not trying to be dramatic or even nosy. I just, just checking on you, my friend. I don't know if level I appreciate boys are well, and if there's anything you need, let me know. It just ran a chill down my spine when I heard that there was something going on Trescott. All right, 212-3083. I hope all is well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Stop. First, stop automatic.
It's done.
Okay, do you have your identification with you? So you never took the last name of Markle?
No.
Adelson. Wendi with an I. All right. There was a shooting at your home or your ex-husband's home at 2116 Trescott. Okay. Your ex-husband, Daniel, all right, has been taken to the hospital. He's not going to survive.
Oh
Okay.
Okay, so please put in the comments your opinions of the crying and the immediate, oh my God. I would expect here, rather than the oh my God and the minutes of crying performance, far more questions, far more curious questions. Later on, the detective shuts her down with a curious question, which she never comes back to. And that's unusual because even if you've been shut down and told no more curious questions, in a truthful, authentic situation, you ignore the detective and you keep asking. That's what happens in authentic interviews. But she falls into the performance of the guilty party, in my opinion. It's a transcript error. Okay, so we have.
Before we get into everything, I have to establish where you were and who you were with and so forth. Okay, and then once we've established all that, I can give you more details. Do you understand why I wanted you to come here before?
Okay, do you see my point? It's too accepting of, okay, I'll play the part. Her ex-husband has been shot and isn't going to survive. She immediately goes into the, okay, I'm going to play the good witness scenario. It's deceptive.
That's okay. No, you have nothing to be sorry about.
Now there's a bit coming up. Look at the performance. Look at the false hysteria, and I want you to recognize when in just a second how she breaks this pattern immediately and falls into a pre-planned narrative.
Can you let me get over this hump, okay? Can we do that first? All right. Can you tell me what time you left your house this morning?
Yeah, I was there.
Boom.
I didn't leave this morning. I didn't leave until noon.
Okay.
Did you notice that? As soon as the narrative signal arrives, the crying and the hysteria stops immediately. And she immediately goes into the alibi. Yeah, it was there. I didn't leave this morning. I didn't leave. And here we have sensitivity. So she's sensitive about immediate establishment of alibi and isn't supposed to be aware at this stage what has happened to her ex-husband. Highly deceptive.
Oh my God. And I tried to drive up Prescott and I saw that it was blocked.
And she couldn't help herself but go to the murder scene. And the order of importance as to what's said is highly important to people. So here we have the order of importance. I didn't leave until noon, which is approximately when the murder occurred. So immediate alibi building and awareness of the murder time. And then awareness that she shouldn't really have gone back to the murder scene. So immediate, oh my God, and I tried to drive up Trescott and I saw it was blocked. Manipulation, gaslighting 101 from this woman.
It was blocked at some point. I'm not sure what time it was.
And I just thought, oh, there's maybe some trees down or something.
Oh, you're saying as you drove?
For those who have been learning statement analysis and forensic linguistics, you can immediately start to see the patterns and how they differ from innocent statements. The amount of color, for instance.
Down which one of the side roads?
I'm going to a friend's party tonight, and it's
boom.
It's a.
Okay, so we already know this pattern. She interrupts herself and self-censors because she's not happy with what she was about to say. So abandons what she was going to say and restarts. When we see this pattern in this sort of scenario, we're likely looking at deception within the statement. And the more I's we see, the higher chance of extreme deception. So here, when I abandons the thought, abandons the sentence, begins a new sentence. We note it and we put in a flag.
What am I talking about? I needed to buy it.
Here she's telling herself off. Oh my God, what am I even talking about? Notice that this is important to her, what she's going to say to the detective. She's, in my opinion, planned this meeting, knows it's going to happen, and it's not going, because of the cognitive overload, the stress, no matter how much planning happen. As soon as the battle commences, as soon as you get punched on the nose, all plans go out the window. So she's telling herself off here.
So stock the shelf engagement party, and so I went to buy bourbon. Okay. So I went to drive from my place.
When we have a pattern of so many reasons why, we mark reasons why in blue. This might be because, so, but here we have a extreme pattern of so's, which is justification and reasons why. In deception, the deceiver will very often produce this sort of pattern. Reasons why, unnecessary information and lots of reasons why. Here we also have a very clever strategic alibi building, which I mentioned before, she has an architecture which is unusual, apart from those who think they're clever and think that they're clever deliberately building alibis. The sort of thing that you'll see on every Columbo episode. And here she's built the architecture of the TV technician, the liquor store employee, the gas station attendant, and the restaurant friends, and the email to a librarian, I believe she said. So we have an architecture of 5 different witnesses who can attest that she couldn't have been the shooter. The fact that somebody was hired is she still wanted that alibi, even though she's not the shooter.
Prescott to get to ABC Liquor, and it was plugged, so I just turned around. I was on the phone at the time. I just. When we see this pattern again in statements, we see deception. So what we have with Wendi Adelson is huge amounts of different styles of pattern, all deceptive. So here we have clusters and superclusters already appearing. Okay, no, attention. And so I just turned around and drove up the other way. I just thought, oh, sometimes when I lived there were like.
The word sometimes is common in deception. So what we're seeing her say is essentially the usual pattern. She's not saying what she did, she's saying what she usually does.
Electrical things that would happen. I left my house around.
We also spend a lot of attention to when we hear the word left. I left, or sometimes even worse, we have a dropped pronoun removing themselves from the statement, and it just begins with left. Here we have a little temporal lacuna, which we mark in green. So where we hear the word left, most of the time, a lot, 70% of the time, it means nothing in particular. It's just perhaps that they're running a little bit late. But 30% of the time, and even more in a deceptive pattern, then there can be tension when we see the word left, and there can be huge sensitivity and anxiety, and sometimes violence. So we look out for the word left. And in this case, I left my house around, so she's not going to commit to a timeline. She never does. That's actually one of the findings. In all of her timelines, she's vague. So when we have left and vague timeline, we have double sensitivity.
12:15, because I thought I'll get the bourbon and then I'll get some gas for the car and get super glue for one of the boys.
Okay, we pay attention to tense. So she goes from past tense in the same sentence to current tense. And also we have quite a large number of reasons why, including this one, which becomes current tense. And I need super glue for one of the boys' toys. Completely unnecessary language and a change of tense, signifying extreme sensitivity in this entire deceptive paragraph.
This toys, and I was trying to do all I can before meeting my 2 friends at 1.
Okay, who was at your house this morning?
The only person that was at my house this morning was a guy from Best Buy.
Reason why?
My TV was broken and it's under warranty. Yeah, I figured.
A guy from Best Buy was at your house to work on your TV?
I have his name and everything at the house on it.
Okay, so this is interesting, isn't it? So she's pre-prepared in her pre-prepared narrative when she was preparing for this police interview that was obviously going to come after the murder, and she's pre-prepared her witness alibi architecture of I have his name and everything at the house if you wanted, because the boys broke the TV, so he gave me a choice. Do you see the pattern of the alibi architecture?
The boys broke the TV, so he gave me a choice of fixing it or getting a new one.
What time did he come down?
He called me at around 8. He was probably there until around 10.
Okay, she will not commit to any timeline without giving herself and buying herself vagueness. It's a pattern that we see in deception. They constantly buy flexibility around timelines. Timelines, if you're pinned down to a timeline and you're an the investigator's job is to pin down timelines, and the deceiver's job is to prevent that happening. Sometimes they do that unconsciously without even being aware. They're just a skilled liar, or a very practiced liar, should I say. She's not a good liar, but she is certainly a practiced serial liar and a practiced serial deceiver and a practiced serial manipulator and a practiced serial gaslighter, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. And then
after he left, I kept working on paper, and I emailed the paper to a librarian at school to work on some of the citations.
Okay, so this is part of her witness architecture so that she couldn't be the shooter.
Okay.
And I don't think I talked to anyone else, but I was just working for an hour or so from the house. I was gonna take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time. I did laundry, and then I left.
Okay, whenever we see unprompted, because nobody asked her, and also it's in the negative, I was going to take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time. I did laundry. So when we see this, it can mean certain things, potentially abuse in the household, violence, a history of abuse. But we also see it as guilt and shame. And I think in this instance, we're seeing at the deep unconscious level, shame and guilt. And it's interesting that we have two different types of cleaning. And then I left. Yeah, we could analyze this statement in immense detail. We don't have time. But if you're learning statement analysis, we look out for this because it can mean a lot. And sometimes significant trauma is attached to it as well.
The house around noon.
To go to the liquor store and the stuff for the party.
Yeah.
Okay, you went down which road you said?
I went down Trescott. Okay. I saw a police car there, and I just thought it was blocked, so I just turned around and drove.
Okay, so she can't help herself. Her deceptive patterns are just so obvious. Once you know them, and you've seen hundreds of criminal statements, they all follow a very similar pattern. And you don't see this in authentic, truthful statements. You see the odd flag, but you don't see this. It's like a French accent, as we've said in previous videos. Once you recognize the pattern of deception, it's similar to hearing a French accent. You see it again and again, and you recognize it instantly.
Drove to, I went down the rest of Centerville, went up Benton, took Benton across, went to ABC Liquors, bought the bourbon.
I'm a little confused. You're up on Centerville Road. What's your purpose of driving down Trescott?
It's usually the shortcut to get to.
Okay, so we look out for this word, and interestingly, in the same sentence, it's sensitive. We call this the normal factor or the usual factor. So she doesn't actually answer the question. The detective has asked before, but he also says, I'm a little confused. What's your purpose of driving down Trescott? And she doesn't answer. She says, it's usually the shortcut to get to Monroe. So sensitivity, 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 sensitivity. The brain's under enormous cognitive load. She's not answering this question because we think the reason why she's looking, she's she's curious. She's curious about the murder. She's the arsonist returning to the scene to watch the fire, and she can't tell the truth. So she says, "It's usually the shortcut. I usually take it." Do you see the pattern?
Monroe.
To get to Monroe?
I usually take it as a cut through to get to Thomasville or Monroe.
Okay, all right, so you.
I know I said Monroe, I was thinking Mosaic, Monroe, it's not Thomasville.
Okay, so when you come down into town on Centerville.
I almost always cut through
Trescott and just drive by your old house?
Well, I do it as a way of like coming to terms with a divorce, but yeah, sometimes I drive there, if I'm too sad, I drive around.
Okay, this really is a case study in deception, isn't it? Almost always, sometimes, I do it as a way of like coming to terms with a divorce. But yeah, sometimes I drive there. If I'm too sad, I drive around. Huge deception pattern.
If the kids aren't home and I know they're not home, I feel better about driving by the house, but yeah, it's shorter and I just usually drive by.
It's shorter than what?
I just usually drive by. So she's refused to answer. The detective hasn't picked this up because everything about this statement is confusing. But essentially, she's just constantly refused to answer the question. People generally don't lie by commission, in other words, outright, blatant, barefaced lies, because they can be caught. So they tend to lie through avoiding the question and using linguistics, which make the listener think that the question's being answered. And she does it with a mixture of speed and practiced lying. But to those who recognize the pattern, you would immediately sense deception.
All the way down to Benton?
All the way down Centerville and around Benton, just a shortcut I just took.
Okay, so you turned around and went back to Centerville, I take it?
It's untrue. She said sometimes, usually.
I went to the liquor store down there on Thomasville.
So she's strengthened it here. She's recognized that she's constantly saying usually, sometimes, sometimes it's a bit like this. And her unconscious recognized that she needs to strengthen it.
Yeah.
The one at Benton Road?
ABC Liquors, it said, yeah, Benton. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Did you make a purchase there?
Yeah.
And that was sometime after 12?
Probably 12:30.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Her practice lying, she does it unconsciously, but she's always using probablys. She won't be tied down to a timeline.
And I talked to a guy there because I don't really buy much alcohol, and so they wanted bourbon, and I asked the guy, we had a whole conversation about bourbon and
right.
My eyes.
Your eyes?
He just said your eyes.
So here we have the pre-planned huge conversation about the different types of bourbon, the flirting, her eyes, her contact lenses, how blue they are. She's really making a scene so that the employee in the liquor store remembers her. It's alibi building.
It's really blue. And
get contacts?
I do. But I just remembered it. So I bought the bourbon and got some gas on Thomasville and met my friends at Mosaic.
Which gas station did you go to on Thomasville?
The one that's, I always forget the name, but the one that's close to the cross street, it's right next to the Goodwill.
Okay.
If you're heading north on Thomasville. If you're heading north on Thomasville, it's on your right.
Okay, just past the Goodwill.
Just past the Goodwill, it's close to the intersection there.
Okay, all right, and then from that point you went straight.
Have you noticed that the complete avoidance through this waffle about locations and alibi architecture establishment? Highly unusual. We have percentage-wise, she's avoiding. Now, to be fair, the detective is asking questions, but she's also leading this quite significantly.
To the
Went to Mosaic.
Mosaic restaurant.
And met friends there. I used to have kind of a steady Friday meeting, and I hadn't seen my two friends in a while. And so we had made plans to meet up.
Okay, now I believe that she did go to this meeting. However, notice the unconscious linguistic architecture that she uses, because I think she's a serial liar. So she doesn't actually say that she met her friends. I think she does this as her natural linguistics, always giving herself outs, always giving the listener the job of determining what actually happened. So look at this closely. And met friends there. I used to have a kind of steady Friday meeting. I used to have a kind of steady Friday meeting. So she doesn't anymore. And I hadn't seen my two friends in a while. And so we had made plans to meet up. So in this one sentence, we've got the architecture where she did meet them, because it's part of the alibi architecture. But do you notice here we had plans to meet up? So plans to meet up isn't meeting up. And I think this is just her standard unconscious. She just lies all the time, in my opinion. And this is why we see this type of language.
What time did you get to Mosaic?
About 1. I was a little late. We were supposed to meet at 1, and I got there a few minutes after.
Okay. All right.
Again, she will not be tied to a timeline.
I know it's cold in here.
I think that's not why.
Okay.
Okay, and this is interesting. She attempts to shut down the interview now. I think that's all and the detective isn't having any of it, but she tries, and she introduces the crying technique that she has, which please put in the comments if you think this is real crying. I'd be very interested to know what percentage of people can see through it. Like, perhaps it's unfair for me to influence you that way. What do you think is a better way of asking that question?
I know it's part of it, but do you know anybody that would have a beef against your ex-husband?
He's
I hate to ask it now, but I have to do it now. You understand?
I understand. He had friends. He always meant well, but he would sometimes rub people the wrong way.
Okay.
So we have the death acceptance. He always meant well. And notice that in the death discussions, she avoids his name. In authentic, genuine relationships and innocent statements, we don't see the pattern of name avoidance so that the victim becomes a pronoun, and we don't see the immediate acceptance of death into the past tense. And we are also seeing the beginning of a narrative that there will be people perhaps that are interested in the murder.
But not anyone would do something like this.
Anybody that he owes money to?
No, he owes money to me.
He owes money to you? Okay.
Not me.
Okay. All right. All right.
Notice that mistake? He owes money to me, he owes money to you, and now this could be a motive. But not me. And oh dear, I've slipped up. Let's burst into tears.
Oh my God, we're kids. I know a lot of people just really love him, but I don't know anyone who would do something like this.
Well, we're still trying to determine.
Okay, so I know a lot of people didn't really love him, but I don't know who would even do something like this. And she's not supposed to be aware as to what's happened. And each time she slips up like this, she admonishes herself and then goes into the pretend he wouldn't harm himself narrative that she's pre-prepared, in my opinion.
You know what happened and how it happened.
He wouldn't do this to himself.
Yeah. Here, she gives away the fact that she knows what's happened. And she's reminded by the detective that she shouldn't know this. She is a smart cookie. She's highly manipulative, and then goes back to this pattern of let's pretend he might have shot himself.
He was a very positive person.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one that you know of or that you've spoken to recently that he's had some type of problem with or that he was concerned about?
No that he was concerned about. I mean, we've been separated for 2 years, so I don't know, like,
right.
You know, if he had something going on, I wouldn't know about it. But I mean, I had lost my voice earlier this week, and so we had put off this conversation about our son's school and where he was going to go, and he can't. I know a lot of people didn't love him, but not anyone who would like hate him.
So here we have self-censorship and abandoned whatever she was going to say. And then the repeat of a lot of people didn't love him. So she's constantly saying this now, but not anyone who would like hate him.
He meant well, everyone that knew him.
So again, complete acceptance of his death. And she's been told that he's not going to make it, but she's in the past tense.
Not that he means well, but he's can be a little like argumentative.
Right.
And not, he didn't owe anyone money. He didn't do anything except work and take care of his kids. He wasn't involved in anything bad. I can't believe it.
Yeah, so still firmly in the past tense. She's fully accepted his murder.
I
know. And he was a professor at the law school, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And your divorce has been 2 years or the total separation? I'm assuming.
Total separation's been 2 years. Our divorce was finalized last summer around this time.
Okay.
He wouldn't do this to himself. He has a girlfriend now.
Okay, so she's back to the let's pretend I really don't know what's happened to him.
Do you know his girlfriend?
I met her once in the last couple of weeks. She was visiting. She lives in New York.
Okay. Do you know anything about her?
I know some things about her. She's also a law professor. I know she's recently divorced and she has a son. I don't know if her divorce is final, but I think recently divorced.
Where's she a law professor
at NYU. And they seem very happy, and I mean, I think that was a really good thing in his life. He seemed really happy about it. She came down here, she met the boys, and I met her, and she told me how great she loved the boys. You know, like it seemed to fine.
She ever stay at the house with him?
Just that one time.
When was that?
I remember because
So she knows an awful lot, actually, doesn't she?
I just got back from being with my family in South Florida. Sorry.
It's okay. You're doing great.
So I haven't counted how many times she said sorry, but it's quite a few, isn't it?
So what date was it? I went with my family It was my dad's 70th birthday. We went home for it. So his birthday was the 5th. I left Monday the 30th. So she must have come into town Saturday, the evening of the 28th.
What month?
June.
This past June.
Just no. So June 28th. And then she was there with the boys the 29th, and then I met her on the morning of the 30th when I picked up the kids.
Okay, so this is an interesting sentence for statement analysis learning. So we have temporal encuna, temporal encuna, temporal encuna, temporal encuna. Minimization, reason why. So that's an unusual pattern. I just, now so, June 28th, and then, so she's breaking, she's self-censoring, as well as leaving us to decide how much of a time gap is between the thens.
To take them to South Florida.
Do you know when she left?
I could probably find it, like in the email and stuff. I think she was here for like one more day, and then Danny went up to New York because I was with the kids in Miami for a good one. While I was there, I drove back July 10th, so I was there almost 2 weeks. And so I think he went up the next day.
Okay. Do you know her name?
I do. It's Amy Adler. Oh my gosh.
A-D?
A-D-L-E-R.
And she's a professor of law at NYU? What kind of car does she drive?
I have no idea. I don't know if she has a car. She lives in New York City.
Well, so I mean, she was driving down. I mean, she flew down. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have her phone number?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know how long they were dating even. It seemed kind of serious if she had the kids, but I don't really know. He's been going up to New York for like conferences and stuff since Lincoln was about a few months old. So he's been going up there 3.5 years. So my guess was that they might have known each other for a long time, but have been dating. I don't know how long.
Well, let me ask something. Does his relationship with her have anything to do with your all's divorce?
No.
No, had nothing to do.
Deceivers will often stick to safe ground and waffle away for huge percentages of the statement in safe areas.
Do with an extramarital affair or anything?
No, but the only thing I'm thinking is Amy. I don't know what Amy's old divorce situation is like. So if you're gonna think of someone who's not thrilled with Danny, I don't know.
And this is interesting. Look at this. No, but the only thing I'm thinking is Amy. I don't know what Amy's whole divorce situation is like. So if you're going to think of someone who's not thrilled with Danny, I don't know how happy her husband or ex-husband is with the situation. So here we have the beginnings of extended evil. Here we have the beginnings of the attempted framing of an individual. Extreme manipulation and extreme gaslighting. She's spun from he wouldn't hurt himself to who would do this to suddenly, I don't know what Amy's whole divorce situation is like. So if you're going to think of someone, this is unconscious embedded command language, which even though she doesn't know she's doing it, manipulators often use this technique unconsciously. They don't know it's a technique, but this is an unconscious embedded command. So if you're going to think of someone who's not thrilled with Danny, I don't know how happy her husband or ex-husband is with the situation. So we have a deliberate attempting of framing an innocent person. Quite evil. We know somebody else who's done that recently, don't we?
How happy her husband or ex-husband is with the situation.
Do you know anything about him?
No, I didn't about him.
So you know Amy Adler, she's a professor at NYU. She was down here from the end of June to the first part of July.
I think just a few days.
Right.
Yeah.
As visiting, but he'd been seeing her when he goes to New York on these conference.
Yeah.
trips.
Well, he's in New York in the summertime. We have a week on, week off schedule with the boys. So whenever I have them for a week, he goes up to New York for a week. So he's been spending a lot of time up there.
Did he relate to you that he'd been seeing her up in New York, or that's where they met, or anything of that nature?
He didn't tell me about it, but I feel like he was pretty vocal with the girlfriends and people probably since December about her being his girlfriend. So
Who would be his best friend?
when we were still together, he had two best friends. Neither of them were in Tallahassee. Oh my God, I'm completely blanking on their last names right now.
That's okay.
Matt Price, that was his best man at our wedding. And Josh Berman, who, Matt is in DC and Josh is in New York. Actually, he has a friend, I don't know if they're so close, but he and the boys sleep over at their house a lot. They're in Cairo, Georgia.
Okay.
That's probably his closest friend here.
You know his name?
His name's Alex Greenberg. He's a veterinarian in town, and they've got kids around the same age as our kids.
Is a vet here in town?
Mm-hmm. And I think
Do you know where his office is?
I don't, maybe in Cairo.
Oh.
Okay. Let's look at the statement structure. So you'll have noticed the amount of waffle. Generally speaking, we like to see in an authentic statement a fair introduction, a quarter or so, 50% of the main event, and interestingly, in truthful statements, we see about 25% after the event. And depending on the percentage anomaly, we can see huge amounts of introduction. That's essentially avoiding the main event because liars would prefer to avoid. A small amount on the actual event, and because it's safe ground, a reasonable amount after. So we have an anomaly, a strange anomaly in the actual structure of the statement. Do you remember we have this water and hygiene references? Out of the blue, unprompted, and also in the negative, which we pay double attention to. I was going to take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time. I did laundry. Remember, when we place in a flag, it doesn't necessarily mean anything per se. We make the observation and we look at the clusters. So for statement analysis in principle, unnecessary references to water, washing, or hygiene indicate sensitivity, and these often appear in statements involving SA cases, the need for moral cleansing, and guilt or shame, and other forms of trauma and other forms of violence. In particular, the safety of the bathroom with a lock on the door can be related to these events as well. But I think in this case, we're looking at the moral cleansing at the deep unconscious level and guilt and shame. Huge psychological sensitivity around the morning's activities. It's completely out of the blue and unnecessary language. Do you remember we have the left? So after he left at Best Buy, I left my house around. I left Monday, the Florida trip. So very often there's nothing wrong with this. It can be that they're late, as an example, 70% likely due to rushing, time, traffic, etc. But 30% it can be because they're withholding information, or there has been violence in that location, or there is some argument in that location, about 30% of the time. We have the so clusters, the reasons why. So I went, so I went, so I just, so I just. We have an awful lot of so's. We have this pattern of a lot of people didn't really love him. This is stated twice in the statement. Repetition, sensitivity and importance. We have some pronoun dropping at critical moments. We look, pronouns never lie. They're very reliable, whether they're present or not present in statement analysis. We look at the pronouns in particular. The don't know pattern, 10 times, and it accelerates. I almost always remember this part. Usually, so it's the normal factor, and she never answers the question. She cleverly disguises the fact that she didn't answer the question. What was she doing on Trescott? Why was she observing the murder scene? And she came out with this "I usually" type of excuse. Whole load of waffle, wasn't it? A lot of use of the word just. I just. We always look out for this minimization language. This refusal to be pinned down to a timeline in every single time. She cannot commit to any time firmly. Doesn't necessarily mean the entire timeline is fabricated, but the entire timeline is highly sensitive and ties in with her witness, her alibi witness architecture. And her tenses, he meant well. She switches tenses, but she's easily into the past tense with the murder. Her acceptance is way too quick. People refuse to accept death. They'll be, even if they've been to the funeral, they might be hoping that they'll walk in the door 3 weeks later. We have this inability with loved ones that we care for in authentic, truthful language. We have this inability to accept death quickly. She's accepting it and into the past tense immediately. And even though the detective shut her down and she did ask a couple of questions at the beginning, her lack of curiosity is telling. And her pattern of bouncing between he wouldn't harm himself, people would harm him, he wouldn't harm himself, who would do this? That pattern shows gaslighting and manipulation in my view. So let's leave it with a little caveat, because in statement analysis, it tells us if deception is present in the statement. It tells us what they're sensitive about. It tells us if they're distancing from the victim, and it gives guilty knowledge indicators, and it tells us if information is being withheld. But what it can't do is it can't actually determine whether they're involved in the crime or not categorically. We can't give you the percentage or the degree of the foreknowledge categorically. We can't identify if they are actually involved in the crime. Whether deception relates to this crime or other issues, and we cannot determine legal guilt or innocence. However, what we can do is show the patterns, and for the reader and the observer, they can make their own judgments. Once you see the commonality of these patterns in deceptive statements, and don't forget, tens of thousands have been analyzed over time with law enforcement and federal investigators and intelligence services around the world who have spent decades perfecting this technique. So it does tell us a lot. If you found this interesting, or you want to learn more about how to know if you're being deceived in your own life, please do subscribe, and please do find the notification bell, because that really helps with the algorithm and spreading this analysis for others. So, and there's also a membership in the main channel if that's of interest as well. Okay, look forward to speaking with you in the comments. Have a wonderful day.
The long list of plans that you went over with Mr. Ashbaum.
She's just, I would love for him to look at the proffer of Lewis and Katie Magbanua. I wonder if he's done that before. That Periscope. Nothing she said was honest. From the moment she walked in, the only thing she said was, I listened to my friend's voicemail. Other than that, there was not an honest statement coming out of her mouth. For how long? Like literally nothing was honest. It's fascinating. Nothing was honest. I almost took a shower, but I didn't take a shower. And then he's like, that has like sex abuse. I was like, oh my God. Is my son okay? He's still being examined. I just sent him a message. Thank you for asking. I'm like, thanks, watercolor. But think about that. Nothing she said was honest. I drove to Monroe. No, I drove to Thomasville. The guy liked my eyes. Where do we subscribe to this guy? Let me go back.
Welcome to the Periscope group.
It's called Periscope Body Language and Deception Detection. Let me share it with you again in the comments. So here is the link. This is what his channel looks like. 7,000 subscribers. Periscope. Led by Alistair. 30 years interview behavioral analysis. Periscope is the public demonstration of forensic intelligence. Interesting. What it looks like. At Periscope 1. You can just put in at Periscope 1. I already did link. I sent a link. Here's the link I posted. The guy liked my eyes. Oh, but I didn't. And then she's like laughing. We had the Geek Squad guy there. It was late. Amy Adler could have been her husband. Maybe she went through a divorce. I don't know what her divorce was like. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I went up there Harvey's birthday was the 5th, but we left on the 30th. I was almost there for 2 weeks, but she came on the 29th and we went on the 3rd. Stop. What day? It was like, oh, Isom. Cut it out. What day were you there? What day did you see her? What day was this? Did she drive? Well, I don't think so. She lives in New York City. Oh my God. How on earth is this woman still walking free? How? You really enjoyed that, Neely? Well, there's another one we'll play tomorrow. There's 3 parts to it. I want to see what else he has. He did a Steven Stearns, OJ. Stephanie Lazarus. Is that it? Is that all the videos he has? Yeah, he doesn't have that many. I got the impression from Mentor Laura interview with Isom that Mosaic was kind of an upper end restaurant that makes Wendy's clothing and appearance even more strange. I pulled up a while back now, it feels like forever. But their website and their menu back in the day through the internet archives, and a salad was like $14 an hour. So back, 11 years ago, that's an expensive salad. It's an expensive block. Like where it is located, it's expensive. Sergio De Niro does the same thing. Truth revealed. Interesting. Thank you. She is as fake as her eyes. Like everything she said. Oh, I almost took a shower, but I didn't take a shower. I was doing the laundry, but I didn't do the laundry. I was going to get super glue for the kids' toy. What? Honestly, it gives me such a headache. Super glue? You bring up super glue. Your ex-husband shot. You don't even ask where. She didn't even say shot. Where was he shot? Where on his body was he shot? Was it a drive-by? Was it a robbery? Was it a burglary? Was it like self-defense? Who shot him? Where was he shot? She asked nothing. She asked no questions. She was just like, okay, shot. Where on his body was he shot? In the heart? Where was he shot? And even when he said he's not basically hasn't passed yet, well, how bad is he? She doesn't ask that. I know, Scott. Do you know anything about her? Nope, but she doesn't drive a car. She lives in New York City. Could have been her ex-husband. She was recently divorced. She has a son. She was here 2 days, maybe stayed an extra day. She flies down, he flies up. It's a thing. She says, I didn't need an expert to tell me Wendi Jill Adelson socially does that. Everything about her is a lie. I go by Jill. Hi, how you doing? You look like Donna Adelson. Who? I don't know what Donna Adelson. Who's Donna Adelson? It's absolutely hilarious. If it wasn't a murder, it would just pure comedy. Absolute pure comedy. We're all stalkers, Tic Tac. Like I can't even get like I'm definitely a computer stalker. Like I will. She has a lot of alibis. Alibi building, he called it. I want to go back to that 49 minutes though, when he talks about because she said she was going to take a shower, but she didn't take a shower, and the laundry thing and the water is sex assault. She did perk up when he said it could be a game changer if he doesn't die. She did. I believe Wendi mentioned needing super glue to put back toys that her boys were breaking to hint they were destructive. They even broke the TV. I thought of that as well because I didn't recall the super glue. What is the name of the man going over Wendy's interview? Alistair. Alistair. Doesn't give a full name. Wendi Jill that don't know Jack. She knows a lot. Here it is. Wendelina Juliana Adelante Estrada. 8-hour interview and she doesn't have milk bursting boobs. Oh, and then she says, I drove down to South Florida. She didn't drive to South Florida. Her parents drove up, picked her up, and then they drove back. If any of us were investigated for a crime, I'm sure we'd be able to give an alibi. Would we? I want to hear what he says about the hitman joke. That's a good one, too. Do they have super glue at the gas station? I'm gonna go. I gotta go to bed. You forgot that Vaginia Cala. Oh my god. I have to send this Wendy's Magic Hoo-Ha to a couple people. I was trying to explain it, the song. I didn't do a good job of explaining it. So you got to send the song to them. Because this friend of mine, he has a lot of Suno songs that he writes. And I was like, you got to hear Wendy's Magic Hoo-Ha. It's just, please be sure to like and subscribe. I do forget to ask. You're going to have to go by your middle name, Jill. Jill, are you sure it's not your middle name? I can't imagine handing over my phone or computer. I told the repair guy I was not a criminal, but a crime-watching junkie. Ooh. She never breastfed while trying to drive. Isom let her talk. A jury will see right through Wendi. Jury also needs to take the drive like you did. No way that Wendi needed to cut down that speed bump street and not ask cop or check kid. I mean, she didn't ask anything. Where was he shot? Like, imagine if any of us had a loved one who was shot and we're at the police station trying to figure it out. Where was he shot? Where on his body was he shot? Was he sitting? Was he standing? Like, we'd be asking 1,000 questions about a shooting. It's just unbelievable. Get some rest, Patty. I will watercolor on that note. Let me thank Mark. Next time you come to PA, come visit me. Thanks for being here and keeping us informed. Oh, thank you, Mark. Hey, Penn State's got game day this week. Penn State's got game day. They're playing Oregon. Thank you, Sonia. That's nice of you for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. But it's nice to make money for being here, but it is fun for me. It is my little bit of therapy. So we will do part 2 probably tomorrow's Friday. We'll see. I will post it, but likely be here tomorrow night. Thank you all so much. Take care.